Caban out and Donlin in. The federal investigation into other top officials moves full steam ahead.
Our coverage continues tonight with Antoine Lewis. He's connecting the dots and taking a look at who's who in the scandal that is rocking the city government. Antoine?
Natasha, keeping a close inner circle is commonplace in politics. We all know this. But the optics right now on some of Mayor Adams' inner circle, he even says it caught him off guard.
I was as surprised as you to learn of these inquiries, and I take them extremely seriously.
The breakdown of those being investigated by the FBI reads like a who's who of the mayor's inner circle. Last week, the FBI raided the uptown home of First Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright. Wright shares the home with David Banks, New York City Schools Chancellor. David Banks is the brother of Philip Banks III, Deputy Mayor for Public Safety. The New York Times is reporting that Deputy Mayor Banks is part of an FBI bribery investigation. Agents took the electronic devices from those two homes and that of a third Banks brother, Terrence, who runs a consulting firm. Their father, Philip Banks Jr., was an NYPD lieutenant when Adams was a captain. Some say it's common practice for politicians to surround themselves with people they know, for better or for worse. David Shapiro is Director of Inspection and Oversight at John Jay College.
Sometimes that's even worse than taking a chance and saying, well, I'm not sure about this person, but they've been loyal to me for 20 years, and I have no palpable reason to discard that friendship.
To be the first Hispanic police commissioner is an honor of the highest measure.
Yet 14 months later, Caban stepped down after the FBI seized his phone last week. In his resignation later, Caban says he did not want to be a distraction during the federal probe that Fox 5 has learned may be connected to his twin brother James and a third brother Richard. James Caban was fired by the NYPD in 2001 for allegedly trying to frame a New York City taxi driver. He runs a firm that does security for New York City nightclubs. Sources tell Fox 5 that he is part of a corruption investigation. Their connection to Mayor Adams is through their father, Juan Caban. Juan Caban and Adams both ran organizations in the 90s that supported minority police officers. Another Adams ally, Timothy Pearson, was also subpoenaed. Pearson is a former cop on the force at the same time as Adams. The feds asked for his cell phone as well. Adams and City Hall maintain they are cooperating with the FBI.
Mayor Adams has been in government, whether as a police officer in other roles, for many, many years. You develop certain alliances, certain trusts, and you cannot discard these people immediately.
City Hall released a statement saying that federal investigators have not indicated that Mayor Adams or his staff are targets of any investigation. And Mayor Adams has said that his team is fully cooperating. Natasha.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video clip I just showed you, oh boy. Seems like there's so much crap going on in New York these days, but this news clip came out 3 days ago, okay? And it's giving everyone an idea of what's going on with these spur-of-the-moment investigations that are going on. I mean, some people could say it's coincidence, being that some of the people involved, they've been under, I guess, investigation without their knowledge, and now it's all coming to light. Or maybe there's something else amiss to this. Now, you heard about a statement that Mayor Adams said when being asked about all the people that he surrounded himself with, that I guess supposedly he hired them because he's known them for so long. Now, my thing is this. If that's the case, but you knew, okay, that certain people in your group either have dealt in like some shady wrongdoing, or that some of their friends and families have been in scandals that it could potentially come back and hurt the mayor, why would you hire those people? Case in point, that police chief who they said that his brother has been got fired or something back in 2001 for some sort of corruption with nightclubs. You would think that Mayor Adams would be like, you know what, even though you are qualified for the job, I just don't think you're a good fit. And that's the problem, okay? with these DEI hires. And the reason why I use that is because if you heard the then police chief, now he's not, now he stepped down, police commissioner, whatever the case is, that he used the term Hispanic when he said, I'm the first Hispanic police commissioner hired. It's like right then and there, you know that there's going to be problems. Okay, not the fact that he's Hispanic, no, not at all, but the fact that he has to bring that up. Okay, and it's always something with the left that has to be about optics. And when it ends up being about optics, optics end up in scandals. Okay, and here we are. Okay, now this was 3 days ago. Okay, 3 days ago. And it just seems like it gets worse and worse, because now more news has come out today, okay, not too long ago, as a matter of fact, a couple hours ago, that people closer to him in his circle are leaving him, have asked him to resign, to step down, and like any Democrat would, they say no, because they think that nothing's good enough to stick to them, even though he probably was the one that did all the hiring, okay, and if not all the hiring, giving all the recommendations, so those certain people could be hired. But there's no shame in their eyes. There's no shame. They have no shame in their heart. Nothing. But let it be somebody else. Let it be a Republican, okay, and right away, I mean, everybody jumps on the bandwagon to get rid of them. And my thing is this: where's AOC? Where's Chuck Schumer speaking out about this? I mean, they're supposed to be, especially Chuck Schumer. He's supposed to be the big dog, representing New York. AOC supposed to be representing New York. How come they won't speak out about this? And it just seems like, this corruption on the left, it doesn't matter if it's in Washington or, just regular, a regular public official in the city. It just seems to just metastasize, okay? And yet all they can do is keep pointing the finger to everybody else and projecting that, no, it's not us, we're fine. It's just pathetic, But I'm going to get to the next video clip that came out so you guys can see what's going on, since this came out 3 days ago. Not, like I said, something else came out today. But before I continue, I just want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. And once again, I'm leaving the link to Loza Alexander's Gifts and Go campaign in my description. If you guys can help them out and or send, words of encouragement and prayer, everything is, greatly appreciated. And it's definitely in a situation like that. So I'm going to jump to the next one. But before I do, just something I noticed on this news feed that I want to bring up that I find to be disgusting. And it speaks volumes, in my opinion. Okay? Let me see, where was it? It was right about right here. This is City Hall. And it's funny how they can have not one, not two, but 3 pride flags hanging up. Okay? I mean, and I mean, look at this, 3 pride flags, and why? What's the purpose? What's the purpose? This right here should tell you exactly what's going on, okay, in City Hall in New York, because they're just surrounding themselves with this woke ideology, this ignorance, okay, and being so damn pompous that they feel like, you know what, we can't do no wrong, we're on the right side of history, okay. And this is something. There's not just a problem in New York. It's basically in all the blue states. They have a total breakdown of city officials and management that, I mean, what one would think that, I mean, if anybody was looking on the outside in, they would think that this is the way the whole country is, and it's not. This is why I keep saying, and until I see otherwise, I'm going to keep saying it. It's funny how it just gives validity to what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. To what I'm saying. That whatever the Democrats touch turns to shit. That's basically what it is. Okay? They hire within their own. The corruption, starts coming out. The scandals start coming out. And yet, they won't take the responsibility to say, you know what? This was on my watch. I hired some of these people. Obviously, they're making me look bad. Let me step down and let somebody else come in. Because nothing in New York seems to be getting better under Mayor Adams. It just doesn't. But with that being said, let's get to the next video clip. Here we go. Okay, this is the next video clip. This came out about 2 hours ago on the 5 o'clock news. But before I get into this, just something real quickly, and I want everybody to pay attention. Last night's video that I put out only got 83 views. This is what I'm saying, that when it comes to certain things with Trump, the bias just exposes itself. Okay, the reason why I bring this up, and like I said, I'm gonna do this as quick as I can. It seems that they only pushed it out 542 times. Okay, when my videos are averaging well over 1,000 times that they're pushing it out, it seems like every single time I put something up about Donald Trump, it doesn't get pushed out as much. So, with that being said, if after you guys watch this video tonight, if you can go back to last night's video and watch it for a good 15-20 minutes. I know it's long, you don't have to watch the whole thing. If you do, I mean, thank you, but just to get the algorithm going, to let people know, okay, to let the algorithm know that, you know what, people are interested in what's going on, especially when it's a second assassination attempt against Trump, okay, and anyone for that matter, but especially against Trump, because it seems like all day today, the mainstream media has been once again spinning the whole narrative around what happened yesterday with Donald Trump. And I think it's disgusting and it's horrendous, and it's not going to go away because they think that they can just hide the news or suppress it. Okay, so if you're new, if you can go back and check out my last night's video and this one, if you watched it, please go back and watch it again, so like that they can see that, you know what, people do want to know what the hell is going on, okay, when it comes to Donald Trump's safety. But I thank you all for that. So without further ado, let's get into this video clip. Now, like I said, this came out a couple hours ago, and it just seems, like I said, more people in Adam's circle just are resigning, and one of them is supposedly his top aide. Here we go.
New calls for Mayor Adams to resign. This as several of his top aides are caught up in federal investigations.
All right, Fox 5's Morgan Mackay was at City Hall this morning to ask some tough questions and joins us now with what you found out. Morgan.
Steve and Natasha, 3 lawmakers are now calling on Mayor Eric Adams to step down, but he says that's not going to happen, even as his top legal advisor resigned over the week.
I'm sorry, I said his top aide. I meant his top legal advisor.
Again.
This mayor has to resign.
City Councilwoman Tiffany Caban is now the first city council member to call on Mayor Eric Adams to resign following numerous federal investigations. The mayor has not been charged in connection with any of these federal inquiries, but Caban says that it has been a pattern of mismanagement.
It's not just that more than 15 of his associates are being investigated, but it's also, a culmination of his other failures of leadership.
There are beliefs.
Did I just hear what she said? That more than 15 of his people are being investigated? Let me go back.
It's not just that more than 15 of his associates are being investigated, but it's also, a culmination of his other failures.
Well, not for nothing. Regardless of his failures, you have one people in your circle being investigated as one thing, maybe 2 or 3 because they're in the same department, but more than 15, and this man thinks that he's surrounded himself with some good people and he doesn't want to resign. That is your crew, okay? Those are your people. When you have more than 15 people being investigated all at once, there is something wrong with you and your crew. Plain and simple, okay? But once again, like I said, these Democrats think that, you know what, it doesn't matter what happens, it doesn't matter the scandal, don't believe your lying eyes and ears. It's business as usual. We're going to keep pushing forward, and we're here to stay. This is why there is so much chaos, okay, in New York City and in New York because of Eric Adams, Kathy Hochul, all these officials that are in charge, the district attorney, the attorney general, all of them. Why? Because they're just a bunch of scandalous criminals. That's why. But let's continue.
Failures of leadership.
There are believed to be at least 4 federal investigations targeting the mayor and his top aides. This includes the investigation that prompted the former NYPD Police Commissioner Edward Caban to resign last week. Federal investigators are reportedly looking into whether Caban's twin brother sold police protection to nightlife businesses.
Right.
Several NYPD executives have also been caught up in that investigation and had to turn over their phones to the FBI. Additionally, federal prosecutors are also reportedly investigating 2 deputy mayors, a top Adams aide, the school's chancellor, and Adams' campaign for other alleged corruption violations. In a stunning move over the weekend, Adams' chief legal advisor, Lisa Zornberg, also abruptly quit. And in her very short letter to the mayor, she said, quote, "I have concluded that I can no longer effectively serve in my position." According to numerous outlets, Zornberg quit over frustration.
Well, they weren't talking about a short letter. They weren't lying when they said a short letter. You know, it's funny the way he's got all these people in different facets, okay, from the school chancellor, NYPD, FDNY. It's like you got all these corrupt people that are close to you, okay, that are being investigated. You have others in your circle, okay? When I mean your circle, I mean like the Democrat circle, that are telling you to resign. And then you have now your top legal aide, or whatever the case is, saying, I quit. I can't do this anymore. And once again, Adams is going to make it seem like, you know what? No, he's staying because he's doing a hell of a job. No, you're doing a hell of a bad job. That's what you're doing.
Numerous outlets, Zornberg quit over frustration that the mayor would not fire some of his aides that are caught up in these federal investigations.
She has been a great advisor. There are many things she advised us on, and we moved on. But I'm not going to go into the private conversation.
2 state lawmakers.
Well, he doesn't have to go to the private conversation. I mean, just from what she said, if it's true what she said, that she's leaving because he's not firing people that he's surrounding himself with that are in scandals, that explains it all right there. He doesn't have to go into specifics and say, well, I'm not going to say what we talked about in private. Okay? That 2-sentence resignation letter explains it all also. Somebody just doesn't want to be around you because you're not doing the right thing. You are surrounding yourself in scandal, and if I had to guess, he's part of that scandal. So he's the last one on the ship with his finger in the hole so the ship doesn't sink. Okay, but then who's going to man the ship? This is incredible.
Makers are also calling on Adams to resign. State Senator Julia Salazar and State Assemblywoman Emily Gallagher.
Eric Adams is failing at his job. His administration is rampant with serious scandal, and that's a sign of poor management.
If the mayor were to resign, which he has insisted he would not, public advocate Jumaane Williams would step in as temporary mayor. Williams says that is not something he is focused on, but called the growing number of investigations around Adams exhausting.
I don't think.
Okay, not for nothing, but if that was to happen, the last person you want as a mayor is someone with the title public advocate. Okay? And people might say, why is that? Any person with the title advocate in their name, okay, as part of their title, you don't want that. Okay? You just don't want that. Okay? And not only that you don't want that, what New York needs to do, and this goes out to everybody in New York that's a voter, stop voting Democrats in. Stop voting liberals in. Do away with that blue party. Okay? Do away with it. Because all is showing everybody time and time and time again that they're surrounded and they deal with nothing but corruption, scandals. That's it. Stop voting them in, New York. And I sincerely mean this. Stop voting them in. Get yourself a die-hard patriotic Republican to get in there and really clean it up. Okay? Because this is new now with Mayor Adams. But scandals with the NYPD and Democrat officials goes way back for decades in New York. And it doesn't get better. But let's continue.
I think any of us in our lifetime or our parents' lifetime has seen anything like this. it's shocking. It's stunning. And I don't think we're getting the appropriate response.
And it's not
For
surprising.
how heavy this actually is.
And the nonprofit news outlet The City is also just now reporting that a high-level NYPD official whose phone was confiscated by the FBI in a federal corruption probe is also now leaving the force.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
interesting.
Wow,
This sort of
so
ratchets up a little
much.
bit. Yeah, so talk to us exactly how much pressure do you think the mayor is under to resign? And is that just expected to grow in the coming days and weeks?
The New York Times had an article over the weekend that said it's been since 1932 since the mayor has seen 3 police commissioners, and the mayor at that time, Mayor Walker, resigned due to corruption. So this is a stunning development, and to Jumaane Williams' point, some council members and state lawmakers feel like Adams just isn't taking it as seriously as he should be. Now, the U.S. Attorney Damian Williams today even said in his press conference when he was asked, what do you tell New Yorkers? There's just so much going on right now, so many different investigations. And he said he couldn't comment too much right now, but he said that if anybody else knows of any corruption or is involved in any sort of corruption, they need to come forward now.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. You know what? That not trying to shoot the messenger, but instead of them coming out and saying, if you know of any corruption, come out now and speak about it. Why? Why should they? How do they know that whoever's making that statement is just looking to find out who's corrupt so that they can give them a heads up and say, you know what, your name might be coming out, so you need to do something about it. No, how about, like I said, the New Yorkers, whoever's gonna vote these people out, get some new people in, and then let them start investigating whoever it is so they can clean house. Okay? Because this corruption in New York is deep. Okay, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and it's not like I'm trying to offend anybody, but if anybody, knows, back home in New York, there are a lot of corrupt cops in New York, and I mean a lot of corrupt cops. Okay? There's no secret to it. And if I had to guess, in all honesty, probably more corrupt cops in New York than there are in any other major city, in the United States. I mean, besides, like I said, I really don't know. I mean, people say that, Oakland or LA, okay, has like the worst police force. I don't live out there, so I really don't know. But being born and raised in the Bronx, trust me, there are a lot of corrupt cops and sergeants and lieutenants and captains. It's not unheard of. But the thing is, when is it going to get cleaned up? It's not going to get cleaned up and get serious if you have a person like Eric Adams, who instead of showing face, instead of saying, you know what, it's obvious that I'm not going to know, even after all these cases are taken care of, what's going to be the next scandal? What else is going to come out? You would think that he would say, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm going to distance myself from this. I'm going to save whatever little bit I have left in my career. Let the new person come in while these cases are going, and whatever happens, happens. Because at this point, God only knows who's going to start pointing fingers and, flipping on each other. And if I had to guess, I mean, you heard what the lady said, that he's got more than 15 people in his circle that are being investigated, and it seems like in all types of different departments. I mean, I find it very hard to believe, I would find it very hard to believe if it was just those individual people, that it didn't go beyond them. But if I had to guess, of course it's going to go beyond them. You cannot be part of an organization, okay, and hold power in these organizations doing something, okay, that's wrong without having any help from people that you surround yourself with. So if I had to guess, those 15 people, you might as well say it's 100 at this point. Because God only knows who else is involved and how many people are going to wind up being investigated. And to Adams, it just seems like, I mean, he's either power hungry, he's too ashamed to resign, or he's just really part of that corruption that he doesn't care. He's beholden to other actors, and he's going to do his part. Okay? And he's already shown New York that, you know what, he can do his job. He doesn't have a grip on the illegal immigrant situation, doesn't have a grip on the crime. Okay, well, what's going on? He's trying to get 800,000 non-citizens to vote. I mean, the guy is surrounded by corruption, like I said, and then he goes and belittles people when they really hit a nerve with him, and that's why I said in my video yesterday, the man's a piece of garbage, man. You know, they went from de Blasio, who was a menace, to this dude is just like in Chicago. Okay, they went from, what was the last mayor that her nickname was Lori Lightfoot. Okay, they would call her Beetlejuice. I thought that was rude, but I mean, you know, Lori Lightfoot. The mayor before her was surrounded in scandal. She came in, made it worse. Now Brandon Johnson's in, and it's still just as bad, if not worse. Look at what's happened in New York. Okay? I mean, all I know that born and raised in the Bronx, it's like we've never had a good mayor in New York. They have always been surrounded with some sort of scandal. The only person that was able to redeem himself with a lot of negativity was Giuliani, and that was because of what happened on 9/11. Okay, but I mean, Mayor Koch, Mayor Dinkins, Bloomberg, Mike de Blasio, Mike Bloomberg and Bill de Blasio. Now Adams, it's like every mayor in New York has been surrounded with scandal, and they have all been, I think, what was Bloomberg? Republican? I think, if I'm correct. Maybe not, but all Democrats. All Democrats. And people wonder why the shit in New York keeps getting worse. It doesn't get better. Think about it. For the past 40, 50 years, it's been mostly Democrat mayors, and New York has not gotten better. It's gotten worse. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. It just doesn't. And that's not even talk about the governors. Okay? I mean, that's a whole other can of worms, but it just seems like, you know what? These scandals, you know, they just keep surfacing and resurfacing, and I'd like to see what's going to happen in the next few days. And in all honesty, even though these reports don't really say much, they're only giving little tidbits. I mean, for them to have a sting that big to go after people and grab their phones, it's gonna be pretty interesting and shocking, in my opinion, when they start letting out the information, if they let it out completely, of what exactly is going on. And then we'll see who's gonna go to prison. I'll hold my breath till then. I mean, I'm just saying. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. Again, I'm leaving the link to Loza Alexander's Gifts and Go campaign. And if you guys can go back to last night's video, like I said, watch it for another 15, 20 minutes to get that algorithm up. So like that, they know that, you know what, people on my channel are very concerned about Trump. So when I drop a video about Trump, you know, it would be nice if it gets pushed out, okay? As opposed to videos that get pushed out whenever some leftist channel wants to put out some garbage lies about Trump, and that gets pushed out by the hundreds of thousands. That's just the way I see it. But anyway, with that being said, remember, people, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, keep praying for the women and the children, pray for this country, pray for your enemies, and pray for Trump. And don't forget to vote. Peace.